There are 4,218 PS2 games, and I'm beating every one of them. I've got to own the game because I'm playing everything on the original hardware, but I've beefed it up with a RetroTink 5X, some component cables, and more to come soon. Can I do this before I die of old age? I hope so. Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories was developed by Rockstar Leeds and Rockstar North and released in the US June of 2006. Originally a PSP title, it was ported and offered at a lower price point because of a few missing features, like the ad hoc multiplayer and custom soundtrack ripping. The game takes place several years before GTA 3 and features Tony Cipriani as the main character, this time having an MC with a voice. It sits at a Metacritic rating of 70 out of 100 for the PS2, having many great quality of life fixes, but also dropping an FPS around every corner. Can I beat this GTA 3 prequel? I think it's pretty cool that they decided to port Liberty City Stories over to the PS2. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? It did well on the PSP, and the PS2 fans are clamoring for more. I mean, there's no reason not to give them more GTA, right? This game takes place several years before Grand Theft Auto 3 and follows Tony Cipriani, someone we actually meet several times in Grand Theft Auto 3. We never actually kill him, so we know his fate already from the beginning of the game. But here we get to learn what happened to him as things progressed before Claude was able to pretty much kill everyone in Grand Theft Auto 3. So what happens is 4 years ago, before the setting in this game takes place, Tony killed a made man and needed to skip town for 4 years. Once he did that, he was able to come back safely. I'm not really sure how he was able to do that, especially with everyone remembering what happened only 4 years ago. But hey, Salvatore from Grand Theft Auto 3 as well, the head of the mob family here, is allowing him to come back and work for him. Although obviously very distrusting. I mean, these are gangsters, so no one is to be trusted. We actually get a chance to prove ourselves and become a part of Salvatore's little army. The first thing we need to do is drive Vincenzo to his safe house. This is the guy who's going to give us missions for a little while at the beginning of the game here, and he acts as kind of our tutorial, per se? What we actually do is bring him to our safe house that will be on the very first island, where you'll remember from GTA 3, this is where Claude began. Not this spot, but this is our safe house. And if you played GTA 3 before, you'll find it hard not to go to the original GTA 3 safe house and instead go here where you're supposed to go. And it's fine, this is an okay spot for the safe house to be, and we find ourselves coming back here quite often to save. It's really helpful in GTA games to save. We change our clothes and bring him to his own little factory warehouse over here, and then the mission is passed. I immediately jump into the next mission this guy has for me, and he says you need to go get someone to give you some money because he's not paying up, so you gotta go take care of it. The first thing you'll notice are the large amount of FPS drops in this game, and that's because it's a port. They just needed to port it over to the PS2, and, well, it didn't really port the best. I mean, the whole game is fun, but the FPS drops are pretty noticeable and frequent. This mission is very simple. Like I said, this is kind of like a tutorial section. We take him over to this guy to get some money, and then our mission is passed. It's very short, and really it's just teaching you how to get in cars, grab people, and move around the city. The very next mission has Vincenzo telling us, well, we still aren't getting money from this guy, and do you know why? Because he's dead. He was whacked by the Sindacos, and the Sindacos are the people that we'll be dealing with for pretty much most of the game. They are our rivals, and so we have to deal with them for quite some time. We head over and we kill some of the Sindacos who are all over Chinatown, and we just need to teach them a lesson, and the lesson is dead. That's the lesson. It's a very good lesson. It's a permanent lesson. Our very next mission has Vincenzo asking us to kill a Sindaco Heavy, which I'm not exactly sure what that means, but this guy means business. So he tells us that we need to go to an ammunition and get our free gun for the first time. And I'll tell you what, this gun wasn't actually free. But the first thing you'll notice is that the ammunition is actually a mini-map icon now. And by the way, we have a mini-map. This is a big change from number 3. It is so helpful to be going around this place with both a minimap and minimap blips that will tell you where things are. You even have the option to go to the map and make your own blip so that you can go towards it and go to what you need, which is really helpful when you start to find your own bulletproof armor and weapons around the map and you want to remember them. You can just put a mark down on the map, and the entire time you play, it will stay there. And then you can just keep going back to that position until you remember it and you don't need the blip, and you can move the blip around. Obviously, this is revolutionary. These are very helpful quality of life improvements that GTA 3 desperately needed. And it makes this game way more fun because then I don't feel like I'm constantly searching around for things. I believe it does make things interesting to have to memorize where these places are, as if it was a real place, right? But this is a video game. I want to be able to go to those places when I need to go to them, because a lot of that time spent searching around isn't always helpful. Don't forget that this game, just like the other games, have some collectibles like hidden packages and the armor and weapons strewn about the city in interesting places, which can be helpful to find. But once you find them, you aren't necessarily wanting to search around constantly for them. So being able to make your own mini-map radar blip things so that you can follow them and you can remember where things are is extremely helpful. And that is one of the reasons why I think this game is much better than GTA 3. Immediately after we kill the guy, we have to take his car to a spray shop, which is another place that is on the minimap. Very helpful, especially in stressful situations. We come back to Vincenzo for our next mission and find out that Vincenzo really does not like us. And we don't like him, but we don't like him because he doesn't like us. He doesn't like us probably because he just doesn't like us. I don't know. Maybe he thinks we're competition. Maybe he doesn't like that we killed a made man years ago. Maybe he doesn't agree with Salvatore. Who knows? But he is an ass. So he tells us that the next thing we need to do is save some of our guys from a supposed brain-dead job they couldn't complete. There was a raid they were supposed to do, and the cops are after them. So we have to go clean up. I whip into this station where they're trying to raid, get them all in a taxi cab right in front of the cops, no less, and then just book the shit out of there. It's not that hard of a mission. It's still early game, so they didn't make it so hard you couldn't handle it. Although they do throw out the tire strips there to like stop me, to like pop my tires and stuff, and it works. I'm gonna tell you what, this happens a lot. They throw out those spike strips constantly, and it makes your car so difficult to drive. And yes, it will happen when you least expect it and least need it. Like you're carrying people in a car, and getting out of that car will literally spell death for you and the mission. So a lot of times you just have to take it to a spray shop to get it fixed up. I mean, you probably got a wanted level anyway, so you might as well. We return to Vincenzo to get another mission. He says that girls are crazy for blow, which are drugs, of course, but you know what I'm missing? Spank. Spank was in Grand Theft Auto 3, and I talked about it a lot because everyone else did. Where's the spank? How come I'm not being spanked? Anyway, he says you need to go pick up a car and then give him a call. That's it, which is kind of weird, but hey, we'll do it. We have to, apparently. There's a hierarchy here. I find the car, get inside, start to take off, and wouldn't you know it, we get stopped by the cops. Now, the first time I do this, I die because, well, watch this craziness in the background while I talk. But he has set us up, and we know it. So once you complete the mission, once you get the car to the lockup, you eventually call him and kind of, rat him out. You're like, hey man, you did this. I told you did this. Like, I knew you were going to do this crap to me. You're not nice to me, so we actually take his car down to the crusher and crush it because we aren't taking his crap. And then we get a call from our mom, which if you remember from Grand Theft Auto 3, or if you don't know, she was there for a little bit. We actually got to talk to her a couple times, although we never see her character, and oddly enough, we never see her character here. We just hear from her, either on the phone or from a different room. And she is the type of person to never be happy with what you do. She always compares you to people, even though those people she's comparing you to probably have the same problem with her. She never likes what they do, and she compares them to other people as well. She compares us to her father and Salvatore, which both are people she would make fun of for the same things and say, oh, well, this person's better. I would expect that. So it's very funny to see your mom constantly busting your balls, no matter what you do. We go to our mom for the next mission, which is odd because she doesn't actually give us a mission. What happens is she constantly busts your balls, like I just said. Then she says that there's this guy who is actually a good man who calls his mom. But we know Giovanni. He is a pervert. So what we do is we have to go get a camera and prove to our mom that he's a pervert, because she constantly talks about his Sicilian sausage, which he does, I guess, make Sicilian sausage. But, there's a joke in there somewhere. We get the camera and we catch him with two women, and he's in a diaper, which, you know what, to be honest with you, this is a pretty mundane pervert thing to do. Like what, he's wearing a diaper, he wants to pretend he's a baby? Honestly, that's pretty harmless comparatively to a lot of the other stuff that could be happening. So I guess this is supposed to be enough to show your mom to be like, oh yeah, he's a pervert. He just wanted to wear a diaper, man. So we have the picture, we try and give it to our mom, and she says, are you the kind of guy who spends your time in the woods taking pictures of men? And you know what, Mom? Yes, I am. I have a lot more pictures on here, but I'm just trying to show you this specific one. She also says the same thing I say about diaper or no diaper, he's
he's fine, whatever, who cares? But she says he's a better man than you. Look at Tony, he's hanging his head in shame. He's playing the little Charlie Brown, walking away. Our next mission is to go to our mom, and she does not talk to us, so we have to show her we're a real man, and we must go deal with the triad gangs in town so that she believes that we're a real man. I don't know why we're trying to impress our mom at this point. She sounds like she's mean. Now, while I don't think the gunplay is that much better than number 3, it is still slightly better. It feels like it's a little bit more fluid, and you can easily select different targets. I mean, just aiming and then re-aiming at people is what you need to do. So what you want to do is hold down the shoot button until they're dead just as they die, and then let go and reacquire the other targets. And you can kill people pretty fast this way. I found that I didn't really have too many problems fighting multiple people as long as I got the jump on them usually. Now, if they get the jump on you, you have a little bit more of a problem. You'll need to find somewhere to hide. This is just the kind of flow the game has, and that's nothing like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which is weird because it came out before this game. But they needed to make sure the controls worked for the PSP, and that's what they decided. We go back to our mom and find out that she really only respects other people, of course. Again, she's busting her balls. She says that there's this one handsome guy who's really respectable and he's in a race, and your father would win that race if he was here, so go wipe the smug grin off that boy's face. So that's what we do. The races aren't too bad in this game. There are some tough ones later on that you can do for just extra money, and we'll talk about those when we get there. But you can look at the minimap and see where the next racing checkpoint is going to be, making it a little easier for you to complete the checkpoints. Honestly, you just pick a fast car, and as long as you drive fairly well, you'll make it. You don't even have to have the fastest car. Generally, they'll find themselves crashing into things, or you just driving so well that you win. That's it. Our mom is pissed at us, as usual, and she's mad that we took that photo of Casa, the guy in the diaper, because after we did, he stopped paying his protection money. Then she says if your father were here, he would have taken his guts and making them into meatballs by now because he's not paying his protection money. So Tony's like, all right, mom, you want his guts? You'll get them. This mission is actually one of the worst missions in my opinion, and it's not because it's hard. I mean, it's a little difficult because of what you need to do, but the game wants you to take this axe and chop up Casa. And there are other people in the building, but who cares? But you don't get a gun. You have to chop them up. Apparently that's our goal, our mission here that we've made for ourselves. Literally ourselves. Our mom didn't ask us to do this necessarily. We are just doing this because we're crazy. But you can't just run at him. No, you must sneak up on him. How do you sneak in this Grand Theft Auto game? You don't. You just walk very slowly and you hope that you're out of his vision. It does not show you a vision cone or explain to you where and when he can actually see you. But if he sees you, he will run. And you just have to hope that he is in a position, such as this one, where you can sneak up behind him. And no, you cannot one-hit kill him for whatever reason. So he will run multiple times throughout this, and you'll have to chase him down each time. And sadly, he is fast. You cannot catch him. You just can't. The only time you can catch him is if he makes a weird mistake. The AI makes him run into one of the other people or makes him run into the wall for half a second too long, and then you can catch him for a moment. But that does not mean that it can happen all the time. I spend a good 2 minutes chasing this guy around thinking, man, I can't sneak up on him. I just can't. It's just hard. He has to be in the right position because for some reason he can see so far around himself. And if you try and get in position, he will see you and move. The second he sees you, he will move to a completely different part of the factory and you'll have to try and coerce him into the specific spot. That's why this mission's bad. It's not even hard, it's just weird. For some reason, we think it's a good idea to take his chopped up body to his own restaurant where he sells the Sicilian sausage and give it to his coworkers who will then make him into the sausage. And so now people are going to be eating him, which is weird. I mean, sure, that's exactly what we're doing. That's how things are working. We meet up next with this guy named JD, who we're supposed to be getting money from for whatever he's doing here, mostly pimping out women, I think, but he does not have the money because apparently he's getting ripped off. So we have to go with him in a van and collect the money from a bunch of women around town. There are 2 things you do in this mission. One, you hunt down a pimp and kill him and take his money. And the other one is you just go around until a girl shows up on the side of the road with a blue dot, and then you'll go up to her, she'll bring you the money, and that's it. This one's pretty simple. You don't even really get attacked by the cops or anything. I mean, The pimps, if you kill them in front of a cop, sure, they'll come after you. But if you don't, then you just kill them with the vehicle and then take their money. So the next mission he gives us is that Salvatore is here paying his girls a special visit, which, I mean, come on, man, you're not hiding nothing. But you actually have to take Salvatore back home so that the raid the police are about to do on this place doesn't include Salvatore. Obviously, that would look bad and he'd go right to jail. So we get in a car and take Salvatore back home. Salvatore's place is in the exact same spot as in Grand Theft Auto 3. So bringing him back here is very short and simple. We get him back here and then we get to give him a call for more missions. Our first mission from Salvatore has him lying to us about how everything works in this kind of industry with, gangs and drugs and violence. And he feels like he's, one of the last honest men. We're the last honest men, and there's just no honor for us anymore. And it's like, dude, you kill people and you offload drugs all over the place. Shut your fucking mouth. Who are you trying to convince here, Like, I'm pretty sure he's convincing himself. Anyway, the real mission he wants us to do is there's someone working with the police who is down by the docks. She is controlling the docks during the strike that apparently he set up so that he could offload drugs. And she is done playing his games. So he wants us to take money down there, give it to her so that we can pay her off more so we can have more access to the docks for more drugs. Well, wouldn't you know it, she doesn't want to play our game and she has a bunch of dudes attack us. So not only is she not going to help us ever again, but we are now going to have to escape from the docks. As I'm running through the docks, someone sets me on fire with a Molotov, and he sets his friends on fire with a Molotov too, which is kind of bullshit. But the next time I decide to park a car nearby and try and find my way out, and I do. But there's this really cool mechanic. A taxi cab, after you die or get arrested, will show up right in front of you. If you want to go right back to the mission, you can, just by getting in the taxi. It will take you directly back to your mission, and you can do it again from there, which is nice, I suppose, instead of starting back there and trying to figure your way out to the mission. But you'll find that even though that's the case, you still want to go loot up. If you are allowing yourself to die and continue on, you'll want to go get the body armor and the guns you need for the mission, and you won't really want to take that. But it is still a nice quality of life improvement. We come back to Salvatore, and it's a very short brief that he gives us. He wants the men who are part of this woman's little section that she's doing. He knows that she's not going to do, no. Our next mission with Salvatore is a very brief briefing. Then he tells you need to go get some hookers and take them to the picket line, because if you could imagine, that woman is not going to work with us. So we can get the people that work for her to work for us though, which means that she wouldn't have any power over anyone. So to do that, we have to take the hookers over to them to make them happy. That's it. We have to pick up 6 women and bring them over to the picket line. We do get attacked when we get to the picket line, but it's really simple. You just go pick the women up, and you got to do it quick. You have a time limit, but you have plenty of time. Like I said, this is early game, so we aren't quite into the do things as fast as possible bit yet. So just go pick up the women, take them over there, and you're done. Our next mission, Salvatore laments that not everyone is still working with him. So to do that, we need to find the big shots, the big wigs, and we need to scare them. Not kill them, just scare them. So we get in a car and go attack them. Now, we're not here to kill them. I think if you kill them, you lose because they need to be alive to work with us. Here you can see I've made a mistake and I've gotten this guy on his side. He isn't blowing up yet, although it's a thing that happens very, very easily in this game, cars blowing up. I'll tell you what, I've blown up so many cars and died because of it. I'll show you later what that means, because there's a mission I get stuck on for a while. But as long as you don't kill them and they get out of the car, you just whack them a little bit until they finally get the lesson, right? Like they understand. The red arrow will go away and they aren't dead. So just be careful not to kill them. The next mission we get from Salvatore is that this woman is still screwing things up and we need to teach her a lesson. So we need to dress up as a limo driver, pick her up in a limo that she's expecting, and once we drive her over to the picket line, we need to scare her. So she needs to be pretty upset and understand that, she's gonna work with us or else. So we take her to the picket line while we're scaring the crap out of her, and she learns her lesson. Mission passed. We go back to our mom and she calls a hit out on us because she is so shamed about all the stuff we've done, which, by the way, the stuff we've done has been always successful for her. But of course, she's one of those people who cannot be pleased. So we must pick up this shotgun and any guns the hitmen drop and kill quite a few hitmen. It's kind of difficult. You need to, by this point, have found the armor down by the dock where we've been taking people like the hookers. We took that woman. Down by the dock, there's a little place where there's a bulletproof vest that you can get, and you need it because here it's way too easy for them to kill you. Sometimes they throw grenades, and you need to come out to fight them because the spot you're starting in is kind of small and does not allow you to see around. You must come out to fight, and they all start shooting at you. Plus, more show up after the first batch, so you just got to take it a little slow. Next, I head to Maria's place, who is the woman who is with Salvatore, and he asked me to just like take care of her and do whatever she wants me to do, which I take her around town, and she like harasses people and then also steals things. So I just gotta take her around while she does this crap. It's not a hard mission, but it's kind of silly. I come back to Maria to see what else she wants, and she wants to go to her dealer to get, pure cane sugar? I'm sure it's sugar. But then she wants me to take her there, and so that's what we do. The problem is that once she gets in the car, the dealer just decides, okay, we're driving off with her. I think she mentioned something about the cupboards being bare, but I'm not sure if that's money-wise or literally just she's out of stuff. So we have to ram their car to rescue her. The next thing she does is put herself up as a prize in a street race for motorcycles. And so we've got to save her. She says to come save my ass and maybe it'll belong to you, which, no thanks. You've got a lot going on and I don't think I want any part of it. Luckily, because it's an early game race, it really isn't too bad, and on motorcycles, they are able to crash very easily. I mean, later races they can crash as well, but because you're on a motorcycle, you can just fling off very easily by bumping into anything. So if you push them into something, or if they just drive like crap, most of the time you'll see that they just stop chasing you and stop racing because they're dead. Apparently, she's not really interested in going with me, so I went and won this race for nothing. She goes with this guy named Wayne, and, my guy's like, hey, Salvatore, you're supposed to be with Salvatore, and she's like, nope, I'm not gonna do it, and that's it. We come back to see her later, and she's at her apartment, and we think she's just done a bunch of drugs, but she obviously has a bloody nose, so Wayne, the guy she was with before, beat her up a little bit, so we gotta go take care of his dumbass. We confront Wayne about the beating, and we tell him, well, it's time for his beating, and he gets on his motorcycle, even though he has a gun, and drives away. Now, before this, I went and got an Uzi, as well as some armor, so I'd be able to take him down on a vehicle, and luckily there's bikes right here. So I take his little lackeys down, who, for some reason, have weapons next to them, but they aren't using them. I mean, I've got a gun too, so they're kind of insane. Although I see now that this is probably because they didn't want you to have to go buy one, or didn't, know if you were gonna expect to buy one. So they gave you the opportunity to have one of the Uzis. So if you didn't go buy one before this, at least you have a weapon. But this is really easy because in this game, you can shoot forward off of the bike, which means that you can just chase anyone down on a bike and shoot straight into them. That makes a lot of the different missions in the game where you need to shoot something, or you can, much easier. And in this one, obviously, it's very easy. You chase him down and shoot him in the back. We head back to Maria, where she says she's taken a bunch of different drugs and she needs a zap, which, is probably something that will help her feel better, I guess. I don't know, like an adrenaline shot or something, probably like Pulp Fiction thing. Well, Tony doesn't know what that is, so she's like, well, come with me, I'll show you where it is. And she leads us on a wild goose chase. We drive around to different points where she just keeps forgetting where it is. I mean, she's on a bunch of drugs. And then we find Wayne's crew, who we just killed, Wayne, the motorcycle guy. And so now we have to escape from them because they're coming to get us, and we still need to get this woman a zap. We go back to our old friend JD, the one who needed us to get the money from the women before, and he just like turns us away. He's like, I can't come out, I'm catering to some specialists, which, gross. But so we go to this casino, which didn't have any context. We go here, we call him, and then he says, oh, some Sindaco members are gonna come kill you, so you need to go kill them. It's like a bizarre mission. The Sindacos are pretty much just attacking the casino where these specialist things are going on with JD. And so we've just got to stop them from attacking them. And obviously this truck bomb they're about to throw at it is not a good thing for it to happen. So we've got to stop the truck bomb as well, which is really not that hard. I mean, all you have to do is corner it with a car and shoot it, or even steal it yourself. It's pretty simple. It's just kind of an odd mission. Back to JD, he tells us that the Sindacos have this building that's key to their operation, and if someone were to, say, blow it up, that would be really good. Salvatore would be really happy with us. So we've got to go get a bomb in a car and put it in a garage in the building. Fitting it with a bomb is pretty easy. You just drive into the garage and get the bomb. The problem is this part where you get to the building. Once you get out of the car, I didn't realize that you have a remote detonator. Usually you have the car just blows up eventually, but I didn't realize that was what was going to happen. I don't think you even use a remote detonator the rest of the game. So what you're supposed to do is drive it in there, get out, run, and get far enough away. This screen right here shows that I didn't get far enough away. The first time I ran away and didn't even know I had a detonator. The third time, I finally get in there and blow it up from far enough away, but they can disarm the bomb, so you have to be quick. Generally, the game wants you to get a Sindako car so they don't get suspicious, but for some reason, no matter what I did, they always got suspicious the second I came in because they said, oh, I don't recognize that person. So I was like, I don't know what the game wants from me, but the third time was a charm. We head back to Salvatore for another mission, and this time we get to see an interesting dynamic between him and Maria, which is she is the only person who can talk to him the way she talks to him. Now, he is married to her somehow. I don't know why. I don't understand the situation, but they're married, and they say terrible things to each other, and they constantly interrupt the mission. I'm not kidding. He tries to tell us what to do, and every 5 seconds she interrupts, and then he interrupts, and then she interrupts, and then he interrupts. So it's like a 5-minute long cutscene of them interrupting each other until I finally get the mission, which is, it's funny because like, yeah, why would he allow her to do that? Because he doesn't allow anyone else to do that? I mean, guess it's up to him. She lives for a long time. It's just crazy in this kind of, environment. But he wants us to go down to the docks and do a drug deal. That's it. We go around the city trying to find our backup, and once we get 3 guys in the car with us, we go meet this man who then betrays us with the cops. Now, at first it looks like the deal's going through, but then the cops show up, of course, and it's not good. But we're supposed to then take his car, which has the drugs in it, and we get to keep the money and make it out of there. Now, no one makes it out alive except for me. I mean, I don't know what anyone thought was going to happen here, but I get in the car and I just drive away. We come back to JD, who is losing his mind, and he won't tell us why for quite some time, until he says, oh yeah, by the way, Salvatore was kidnapped. Thanks, bro. Let's go save him. Yep, there he is in the back of those guys' car. We just gotta go smash the car and get him out of there. It's really not too difficult. You bash up the car a little bit and they get out of it, and then you can just shoot them or get in the car and take off. Once you get in the car, you take Salvatore back to his house where you untie him and save him. They were about to take him to the crusher along with the car, so he better be in your debt, man. I'll tell you what. Like, if anyone's gonna trust anyone, he better trust me for saving his ass. Back to JD, he's left the building and he calls us and says, hey, Salvatore's coming down here to kill every Sindako he can find. I left a rifle for you up in the building. Make sure he lives. I mean, of course, but yeah, so that's what we do. Up on the roof, I find an AK, a sniper, and a little adrenaline pill to make things go slow during sequences that are fast so that you can aim a little easier. Obviously, your reaction speed is fine, but in the game, it's slower, so it makes it much easier to pinpoint where enemies are and shoot them. I mean, of course, they have big red arrows over their head, but still. I take the pill and begin firing from the rooftop, and this mission's kind of fun. It's not a hard mission. It is much more about, getting to use the pill and shoot people with a sniper. You can jump right down, which is what I do after this because I can't see everyone with the sniper. And it's a good mission. They actually did a good job with this one. I was a little worried with Salvatore's health in the corner there. I was worried that I might have, some problems. Maybe they'd blow him up with grenades or a car would run him over. But in the end, it was very simple. We head back to JD, who says that things are going a little better. The Sindakos have all been kicked out. However, the Sicilians are trying to broker peace, and they're sending a guy to do it. And Salvatore does not, trust him. So we have to follow him and see where he goes. We follow this guy through the city while he chops around up in the sky, and he stops at a couple different places, and it's suspicious. The last place we see is him at the top of these roofs, which we climb up to, and we have to fight a bunch of dudes, which at this point, it's a little difficult. I'll tell you what, using the lock-on feature for the gun is okay at medium range, but some of these ranges are not good with that. And what you have to do is you have to click the right stick in, or the left stick, when you're aiming, when you're holding the toggle for locking onto someone. So when you do that, you then get a free aim camera that you can move around. It is a little difficult to use, and it doesn't feel like it moves around smoothly. It just feels like it kind of whips around. So you really have to, you have to temper your expectations for the free aim. It's really cool. I agree. I'm glad that they put something like that in the game, but it's a little difficult to deal with. We head back to JD one more time, and he says, I'm gonna be a made man. And I'm like, really? After all the crap that just happened? You're gonna be a made man? All right, let's go, dude. As we're driving around to make JD a made man, in quotes, the Sindakos keep trying to stop us and kill him, which is weird, but I mean, I guess we still have to go to the ceremony, in quote. We drive down to the Crusher, of all places, which does not look like a place you'd have a ceremony for a made man. And of course, he gets shot. Sorry, buddy. That's just how things go. I mean, you have to understand in this line of work that you are probably going to be killed, I mean, was it a surprise? We don't actually crush the car right away though. We must bring Mickey, the other guy with us, back to his house. And the first time this happens, I don't do a good job. I mean, we have a 2-star wanted level and I didn't have time to take me and the corpse in it to a spray and paint shop. So like, I had to do it again, and you just have to dump it in the river. Literally find any body of water, drive fast at it, and jump out of the car, and you're fine. After this, we get a call from Vincenzo, who we haven't talked to since the beginning of the game because he was an ass, and so we don't like him. But he promises that he's trying to make amends, and he wants us to help him with a drug shipment down at the docks. We get all the way onto a ship on the docks after driving our car for a while, and we get attacked by chainsaw-wielding dudes. There's a lot of them, and it doesn't make sense how many there are, and why do they have chainsaws? I mean, I guess he really didn't like us. He wants us to die, but we have an AK because now that I found out where the AK spawns on the first island, near JD's place up on the roof, I just keep going to get it and getting ammo for it. This gun is very strong. Not only is it strong, but it is very accurate and you can kill people very quickly. 30 bullets in a clip, man, that's all you need. Killing Vinny is really easy as well. He just stands there and takes it. I mean, the AK is just so strong. And there we go. That's it. He's dead, and we don't have to worry about his dumbass anymore. We head back to Salvatore, who laments at the Diablos, who are now fighting us in another war. He's like, we finished one war, now we're in the smack dab in the middle of another. Like, yeah, dude, this is the kind of thing you want to do with your life. This is not a surprise. Quit being an ass. So we have to go down and help our side fight the Diablos. You have to drive quickly because the war is happening at the beginning of the mission, but you aren't there yet. So once you get there, you can start taking dudes out. But it is a race against the clock because if the health bar for the Leones on the side goes all the way down, you lose. So the faster you get there, the quicker you can save them. I mean, it's not really that hard once you get there. It's kind of fun. Like, they have you shooting and fighting a lot of guys, something that you didn't really do in Grand Theft Auto 3 at all. But this honestly feels pretty decent. They gave you enough backup to help you, and you don't feel like you're being overwhelmed. A lot of the times they shoot your friends rather than you to give you the opportunity to actually fight back. They all drop ammo for the same gun, so that means you'll never run out of ammo, and there's even some health pickups nearby. Obviously, showing up with some armor is really helpful, otherwise it's just not gonna be possible. And sometimes they drop Molotovs, which can kill your own dudes if you mess up, so I felt like shooting people from afar accurately was a much better idea, so I didn't pick up the Molotovs. We meet up with Salvatore again, who is having a midlife crisis and buys this car. At least that's what Maria says. She's like, do you smell something? It smells like midlife crisis. That's wonderful. He just tells her to shut up. But we gotta go pick up some money for him down at our warehouse. Well, the warehouse gets blown the shit up, dude. So we've got to collect all the money from everyone and everything inside of it. And there's just these big green arrows with piles of money in between fire and dudes trying to come get the money before you do. So the one thing that's a problem though is any object in front of a person practically blocks your bullets. And there's too many objects in front of people because this building is blown up. Now, you do get some help with the fact the building is blowing up around you, and for some reason it blows up on them more often than not, which is nice, I guess. But so often do I find myself trying to shoot at someone, but I can't because there's one little support beam in the way. So this is where free aim would help if I really felt like it was necessary, but they don't shoot at you either very often. If they're behind something, they won't shoot at you because they can't shoot at you. So you just kind of go around and pick up the money quickly. We head back to Salvatore and he is losing his mind. He says he's paranoid because people are talking badly about him. No shit. I mean, how is it a surprise to anyone in the line of work you're in? You really... Okay, look. Regardless of that, he wants us to help him. He thinks now the mayor is going to be after him. He says the mayor's going to blame me for everything. Not just the stuff I did, but everything. Like... Okay, I mean, you kind of deserve it, bro. You've been doing some crap. So we have to take Salvatore and myself down to the picket line where I believe the mayor is going to be. The problem is, it's not that simple. The picket line is a trap. All the cops start chasing us like crazy and we have to head for the Callahan Bridge. This is our first trip to the second island, where we'll be for quite some time. This is the next set of missions, and we'll meet some new people, and Salvatore and I kind of hide out over here until things die down a little bit, which, who the crap is running things over here for Salvatore when he doesn't trust anyone and he's paranoid? I don't know. But he can trust me, I guess, because I'm in the car with him right then. The very first mission on the new island has Salvatore asking us to take care of the mayor because he's done taking his shit. So we gotta kill the mayor in the park. He's surrounded by quite a few dudes, but if you just take a car, because this is Grand Theft Auto, and take a car in there and just ram into everyone, it takes a second to kill him. Salvatore leaves a note in our new apartment saying that there's some guys who's going to call us and we need to be around when they arrive. And that's exactly what we do. They come pick me up in this car, and it's starting to seem like that scene with JD where we took him to the crusher and shot him. We walk down the stairs of this alley, and these guys are kind of surrounding the alley, and it seems very much like we're about to be killed. So prepare yourself to fight our way out of this. Then, out of nowhere, Salvatore walks out, and he actually tells you that you're being a made man. Wonderful. Hey, you know what? It's always a hit or miss in these types of situations, in this type of work. You know what I mean? Like, you probably will get killed, you probably won't, but you never know. And then suddenly, you just get you're made man, and now you're protected. And if anyone kills you, you are in trouble. So this is cool, but it's a very short mission. Next, her mom calls us and says, I'm calling the hit off of you because you finally became a made man. And she says, let's just put it behind us. I only did what with your best interest at heart. Whatever, Mom. Then she still is not satisfied. What kind of son makes her mom go to such lengths? Oh my God, Mom, I'm a made man. We finally get to meet David Love, who in Grand Theft Auto 3 was one of the last mission givers, and we helped him out a bit, and that was about it. But here he goes through quite a range of things throughout this game, and it's kind of interesting to see where he started, where he got to, and where he ended before Grand Theft Auto 3. But the first thing he wants us to do is steal a hearse with a dead body in it, and he says it's his guest of honor. So let's go get the dead body. This mission was very simple. You chase down the hearse and smack into it a few times. I shot it with my gun because, why not? And once they stop, just get in and take it. The guy who's driving it doesn't even want to fight you in reality. He just wants to get away. And once you get it, you just take it to a garage and you're done. Next, we come to a series of missions at a church where we go into a confessional and pretend like we're confessing our sins. And then the father, or whoever it is on the other side of this confessional, tells us what to do. And it's very basic. It's just, you're going to do the Lord's dirty work is what he says. And I suppose it's the Lord's dirty work. Sounds more like your dirty work, buddy. Anyway, the first thing he says is that someone's falsifying reports about our country's finest athletes being doped up. And we got to stop them. That's it. But in reality, it's not that easy. It's what I thought it was going to be at the first, but nope. You have to go through this police barricade, steal an FBI car, take the FBI car to the meeting place with that guy so that you can then surprise him. Once we get there, he gets in the car and someone screams that that's not actually the FBI agent, so I've got to go and get him. And these guys run up to me with their fists, like, what do you think was going to happen here? Also, this guy just runs, so you simply need to shoot him or run him over and then pick up the reports he has and then deliver them back to Liberty Tree. The next mission has the father wanting us to grab some diamonds that were taken, I guess, and in this redemption arc, we're going to bring the diamonds back and he'll see them returned. I'm sure he will. And this one seems pretty easy. Get the briefcase, kill all the gang members. Yay. Surprisingly, it is not that easy. Just like the last mission where you pull up and you realize there's a lot more to it, this one is a compound full of guards and a helicopter where you need to have a long-range weapon of some sort. And luckily I do. I have the AK, although I have only enough ammo to shoot a few dudes, so you gotta do the free aim and be kind of careful with your shots. If you can kill enough dudes, you can get close enough to either get their ammo or, behind them, pick up the rocket launcher you use to blow up the helicopter, which is by far the easier way to do things since this AK doesn't have enough ammo to kill the helicopter. So I would do this from far away if I had enough ammo, but it just didn't really work out that way. So the rocket launcher is pretty simple, and once you get these guys, that's it. Next, the father tells us that compared to the degenerates of this town, we are a saint, and their cars pump the devil's bum gas into our children's lungs, which is what a wonderful line. We have to show them the error of their ways. And this is actually a much more simple mission than the last two. We must steal a fire truck that is in a designated location and then just make as much mayhem as we possibly can. You get points based on whether you roll vehicles, you kill pedestrians, or you blow the cars up. Blowing the cars up is probably your best option for both points and the fact that it will blow other cars up. And as far as I understand, you get those points as well, simply because the first car you blew up was the catalyst for the other cars blowing up. But once you do this, it's done. And it really wasn't too hard. It's still kind of fun. You just get to ram into stuff. The next mission that the father wants us to do is kill 3 celebrities, because apparently celebrities are terrible. So that's what we gotta go do. All 3 celebrities are heading towards this radio station for an interview, and all 3 are arriving in different ways. One by boat, one with car, and the other by a helicopter. So we must prepare and get a rocket launcher for the helicopter, and probably just for the other things as well, because one of the cars is bulletproof. So we've got to use a rocket launcher or grenades. Luckily for us, a rocket launcher is reserved so we can use it to blow stuff up. So now The problem is here that all 3 people are in different spots in the town. You must race over there to get them. The easiest way is going to be to pick the fastest vehicle, to get off the vehicle, and then blow them up. At first I thought it was going to be easier to just have an Uzi and ride up on a bike or something and shoot them, but really it's just one shot with the rocket launcher gets them. And because you have a time limit, they are going towards this radio station. If they reach it, you lose. You must do it quickly. So you pick whoever's closest and then start blowing them up. In a hilarious twist, after we finish this mission, we go back to the father and he says, "Thanks for all your help," and then runs away. Tony comes out and says, "Who the hell was that?" That's right, we've been taking orders from someone we don't even know, and we just did a bunch of crazy stuff. So, we're definitely going to hell. For the next mission, Salvatore gets us on a boat where we have an AK and like infinite ammo. We've got to shoot other boats and other people, and we're going to have a chat with the mayor's assistant because, you know, he's out here and we've got him. So now we have to destroy a bunch of boats. Oh, helicopters as well. You have to shoot some helicopters. But this weapon is so strong that it destroys the helicopter in seconds. And this part's kind of fun. I do like the on-the-rails shooting sections of this game and most of the other Grand Theft Auto games. They're made to be fun rather than to be challenging. And that's great because it's kind of fun to just blast people for a while after you've been not really able to shoot people in this way, right? Like when you're shooting people, you know you have ammo. Sometimes you run out. You have to go pick up their ammo. But simply shooting and blowing stuff up feels good sometimes. And they break it up in a nice way where it's not just like that all the time. That would be kind of boring, but they do it in a good way here. The Syndicos and the Forellis have gone to war, and Salvatore is literally stuck in the middle of a battle, so he wants us to come save him. I guess he's calling us from in the middle of a battle. Great for him. We head over to Salvatore's place to get his bulletproof limo and bring it with us because once we escape with him on it, we're gonna get shot at. We cannot take the bullets on a regular car. There's just a lot of bullets flying around. So once we get into this alleyway, we find him behind this dumpster. We do have to kind of escort him. He's not, you know, paper thin, and he does shoot back, so it's not the end of the world. He does move pretty quickly when getting into and out of cars, so if you find yourself having to switch cars, this is the mission that you can do that just fine. But there are a lot of guys, so you've got to take your time and shoot around corners. I used a rocket launcher a few times to kill guys right around these corners so I could sneak out and like see one guy at a time. The aiming in this game, the lock-on is okay as long as you're not getting shot by too many dudes. So you just need to be careful about how much you expose yourself. This next mission's actually really cool. Salvatore wants you to use their equipment in a van to take control of Paulie's car in the Sindacos, who is going to try and broker peace between him and the Forellis. So obviously it's a very important meeting, and so we take control of his car after someone messes with it, and we are able to use like a second person perspective where we're looking through this car and driving it, and Paulie's in the car freaking out trying to find how to stop it from doing this. And as long as we can do it within 5 minutes, we beat the mission. And what we got to do, mess up the meat. So there's really no nothing's gonna hurt us, right? Like this is all simply about taking this dude and taking his car and ramming it into as many things as possible in this first person view, which is kind of neat. And I don't know, it's just like a cool little flavored mission. Like it's fun. You get to run into people in this car, and you know you're doing it as like you making it look like it's this guy's fault. It's just kind of a cool flavored mission. Also, it's fun, you know, just ramming into people. We call Salvatore again, and he says somehow they figured out that it was a setup and that it was not the Sindacos who just came in there and killed everyone. So they're going to talk about who did it, and someone knows who did it. So we have to kill the blabbermouth. The dude is in a boat, so we get to go get a boat and do some drive-bys, which works just the same as when you're in a car. You hold R1 or L1 to move your view to whatever direction you want, and then hold circle to shoot. It is a little hard getting used to holding the buttons as well as driving and keeping up. It's always been kind of hard to do, but it's totally worth it to learn a little bit, and once you do, you can just destroy everything. It's called Grand Theft Auto. Sit in your car, shoot stuff. It's great. We meet Leon, a corrupt cop who knows who we are and what we do, and is asking us to do some stuff for him so that, well, he can have some control, and he knows that we'll be willing to do it because he knows all of our secrets or something like that. But he tells us that he needs our help. He drives us over to the Sindacos, and he says to just start getting their attention by killing some of the guys out front. And when they do, a bunch more come out to chase us, where we're gonna destroy them as well. He does say that he wants to help us take over this city, but you know, anyone who's corrupt might be lying. So Tony, who's also lying, he might be lying. On top of your lies and Salvatore's lies and everyone's lies. There's a lot of lies. We finally get to hear about the Yardies again, and the Yardies apparently need a favor from Leon because he owes them one. So they say, hey, bring over some Forelli members, and if we lead them to the Rockford hospital, the Yardies will be waiting for them, come out and kill them all in like a safe space for them. Obviously, that's an ambush, so that's the best thing they can do. So that's what we gotta do. We gotta lure over some Forellis. You start by getting a motorcycle because any vehicle you bring to this meet does not stay there. It will kick it out and kind of offer you a motorcycle because the Forellis are on motorcycles themselves. Now this one was a little tough. This actually took me a couple tries because they're on bikes just like you, but they are aggressive on purpose so that you can get them to follow you. Once you get over there, you can steal one of their bikes and they will immediately get on their bikes and begin following. Don't even try and look back. Just assume that they are directly behind you, which they are. Now you need to make sure you drive in some way that they don't get hurt. It sounds weird, but this road you see right here has a drop in the middle. They will easily drop down there, and if one of them dies, it does not count. You got to start the mission all the way over because you let one of them die that way. But you can literally just step on the gas as hard as you want, and they will be right behind you. I think it's just designed that way so you don't have to feel like, you're babysitting them trying to get to where you need to go. Plus, the actual end of the mission is over here in a circle that you just ram into it as fast as you want, and it will do the cutscene. So, it's not like it's that hard once you learn that, but at first I felt like I needed to babysit them. And sometimes you do. If they catch up to you, and they like kick you off the bike or one of them falls off the bike, you have to wait. You have to wait for him to get up and get on his bike. So it's a little weird because once you get to this spot and kill everyone, it's easy. But until then, if they die to the slightest thing, you gotta restart. Next, we meet Ray, who is apparently a very good cop and doesn't understand what goes on around the city. Obviously, everybody is corrupt in this world, at least. I mean, I suppose it's somewhat accurate. But yeah, so he's not corrupt, but Leon tells him that we're gonna go fight organized crime like good cops. Even though I'm not a cop, I think he's just talking about the fact that we're gonna go fight it in a legal way, but that's absolutely not true. And it's very obvious by the thing down at the bottom. Kill 20 Forellis using only the katana before 2228. You just go around and kill a bunch of dudes with a katana by chopping their heads off. That's very legal way to take out organized crime. It's really not difficult, even though they can sometimes have guns, but as long as you just sprint up to them and slash as you run by, you'll get them in the one hit that you need, and it's not too bad. Although a lot of them do carry knives. I thought some of them carried guns, but I think most of them just carry knives, which is kind of weird. Why don't they carry guns? It's just for this mission, man. This mission's just silly. If you die in this mission, then, well, you probably should have actually attacked them because that takes one hit. Next, Leon asks us to help the Yardies once again, but because the Sindacos are trying to take over their territory, so we need to go help them keep the territory. This is not a difficult mission. You've got some friends as backup, which is nice. That usually means that you're not going to be the only one getting shot at, so you have a chance to fight the dudes. Plus, you can see on the minimap all of the red blips, which is, obviously your cue to shoot in that direction or be prepared for that direction. This is, a lot of fun. The fighting in this game, the shooting in this game is really not too bad. Grand Theft Auto 3 didn't really feel the greatest, especially the last mission, but this game has you fighting lots of dudes very often, and it's never so hard that I found myself hating it. Part of it, though, I think is the backup, having people who they can shoot at that aren't you is really what you need. So, I mean, at least they figured it out. I head back to see Donald Love, and I do a very annoying mission. This mission isn't necessarily hard, but it's just kind of annoying, and I don't like how they've set it up. I do have to restart a couple times until I figure out what I actually need to do, but I need to take this campaign van and go spread the word of Donald Love. The first thing you need to do is drive the van around and hit these yellow dots on the map. When you hit them, you get an area held, and, my guy says something silly about Donald Love's campaign, making fun of the other guy or saying good things about Donald in silly ways. But they are also being taken by the other guys in the primary race. So you need to watch out because they are going to take areas from you. So you need to move fast. You need to find a way to get... Once you have 5 areas held simultaneously, the second it happens, you then just need to go destroy the other dude's car because he is still out there campaigning, and I guess it just doesn't matter. So you have a small amount of time to do a drive-by and shoot him, get him out of his car, and destroy the van. Our next mission with David Love shows that he is a cannibal. So there's that. Anyway, he wants us to kill the other person running his campaign members before a certain time, so we just gotta go kill some people. It's pretty simple. You just go and kill the people with the red arrows over their heads. Yeah, there's a lot of dudes to fight, but they do give you some extra guns and body armor that you don't have to go pick up or buy yourself. So Donald Love says, I'm not a Democrat, but I have a problem with voter rigging, and it's oh man. And then later he asked me to rig the votes, so don't even go there, Donald Love. Anyway, what we have to do is the Forellis apparently own stakes in the new voting machines, so they're going to force the vote to someone else. So we have to go get a flamethrower that we are provided, by the way, we don't have to pay for it. We will get a flamethrower, go to a factory, and torch everything. This one's actually a little difficult. You need to keep the fire from the flamethrower on each of the pallets in the machines for an extended period of time until you get the message at the bottom that tells you that there's more remaining or that you're done. It just takes so long, and people will come flooding in to kill you. So you have to pay attention to the minimap because they can kill you very quickly. If you're standing backwards torching something for even a second and they shoot you, you're probably going to die. It took about 3 or 4 tries because they do come in with vans and vehicles that will just run you over. So you have to pay attention to where they're coming in at and how many. Next, we must accompany Donald Love, who is probably being targeted by the Forellis now that they know everything about him and that he's doing this stuff. So they're coming to kill him. So we have to go with him, and we get a sniper, and we get to shoot these guys down. Now, it's really not that hard of a mission. The only problem is that I didn't start with the sniper. I thought, I'm gonna walk over here and do this. And the other guy shot the car and blew it up, so then Donald died. So you just have to use the sniper that you're given, shoot the guys quickly, and then take Donald back to his building. The next thing we need to do is actually take care of the people who are rigging the votes, because they're still doing it. So the ballot van is driving around, making drops to these couriers. The second they come out of the van, you need to just get them. Like, don't let them get in their car. Just get out of your car and start shooting at them because it's way easier. Plus, the van visits several couriers and you need to kill them all. You can't, if you miss 1 or 2, it's okay, but man, is it hard if you miss 1, because then you need to catch up to the next courier. And if you aren't fast enough, well, you're screwed. So it's best to just get out when the van stops, because no one's gonna stop you, and the second the guy gets out of the van, shoot him. Leon wants us to take out some trucks that are carrying some guns, and if we take them out and pick up the guns and ammo from them, well, then we get to keep some of it, but also that's kind of our mission. So the truck can actually get to the warehouse they're taking it to, and you can still take the weapons by shooting the truck and breaking it up, and then you can pick them up, but it's best to get them before they reach there, because when they do, they're surrounded by their allies. Once it gets to the warehouse, though, they will get off and try their best to put the ammo inside of it, which is not good, because then you lose the mission if that happens. And you only have so long before they actually do it. So I take my flamethrower and start beating the truck up, man. Donald calls us in a frenzy and says that they have evidence that shows that he is linked to Salvatore, which obviously will sink the whole thing. And Tony says, evidence goes missing every day. So do jurors and judges and stuff. I'm like, no, it doesn't, but I guess it will, huh? So we go out here and we actually have to find the van back behind all of this junk. Now, you could probably jump over the side of the railing and get there a little earlier, but there are so many dudes over here, it's worth just going through and killing all of them and then getting the van and taking it back, with the evidence, of course. We come back to Donald Love and get an earful because apparently they still find out that he's working with me and I'm a gangster, so obviously I'm with the mob. So now Donald Love is definitely going to lose. He's lost $20 million. He's mad at us and he turns us away and says, it's all your fault. Sure, buddy. Salvatore calls us and says they got him, and he means the cops. So he's now arrested and he's awaiting trial. So we need to go over and talk to him on the third island. That's right, we get to go to the third island, and we actually get to be around the third island for a while, as opposed to Grand Theft Auto 3, where you pretty much just visit it every so often at the end of the game, and you still have missions on the second island, even more so than the third, it seems. But the third island just isn't used very often in number 3, and now we get to be on it a little bit more here, which is pretty cool. Before we take this mission, we must go to a new place to get clothes and dress up as a lawyer, because we have to look like Sal's lawyer up in the prison. I mean, we can't just go in there looking like ourselves. So once we get in there, he asks us, he's just pissed at everyone. So he says, go kill a bunch of Sadako and Forelli members. So we take a little group with us in a 4-door car and we have to go fight some dude. It's really not a hard mission. We just mess with their cars outside until they come flooding out and we kill them. Luckily, you have some people with you, again, which makes it so that you're not the only person getting shot at, although they can die just as easily. So if they die, well, You know, it's a little bit tougher after that. But honestly, you can just hide behind a car and free aim over it and get yourself in, because, you know, enemies won't shoot at you if they don't think they can hit you. So I think you can make it easier on yourself by doing that. This one, you just go to 2 places and kill a bunch of dudes. Except for the guy coming out of the building on the right side there. You see that? See that guy coming out of there? Apparently I heard people get him stuck in there and you can't kill him. Well, unless you have a grenade or a rocket launcher nearby the wall. I like searching around on each island for some hidden stuff, and I find a rampage icon over here on the dam. And at first I think, oh, this isn't too bad. 22 of 35 people. This is pretty quick. You know, I'm killing some people. But in the end, when you win the rampage, you get $50. $50. I don't know why they thought $50 was acceptable for any of the missions. Like, do you have to do more of these to get more? Is it like compounded? Like each time you do one, you get a multiplier? But man, you have to run around murdering people with a chainsaw. For some reason, they thought $50. That's it. You know, go buy yourself not even a full video game nowadays. It's like a half of a digital purchase. We come back to Salvatore, who says, finally, it's time to take care of Paulie, the guy who we've had control his car and murder people, and he's been trying to do a bunch of stuff in town. Well, apparently he's done, so we gotta take care of him. This mission has us chasing him while he's in a boat, but we don't have a boat, not at least that I could find. The easiest way to do this mission is to get in a car and at least attempt the mission for the first time. Now, if you can kill him right away, that's great, but I wasn't able to because you're supposed to stay on the shore and shoot him, which works pretty well for a little bit, but then he ends up getting too far away. But eventually there is a spot, as long as you continue to follow right where he's gonna be, there will be a spot that will spawn a rocket launcher for you. You can then pick it up and shoot him. And if you can't shoot him this time, let the mission fail. Come back, and the second the mission starts, you can end it by shooting the boat before it leaves. Just like this, just park the car outside, blow it up with a rocket, and you're done. Next, Salvatore asks us to check out the Yakuza compound. Finally, we're gonna fight the Yakuzas because apparently they have stockpiled a bunch of weapons. So we must race back to the second island and find that place. If you get to them in a Yakuza car, you can drive directly into the compound. And we find not necessarily weapons, but a weapon. An enormous weapon. A tank. So what we have to do is destroy it. And the nice thing about this is, for some reason, the tank has car doors that you can just get right into. And you can get right into the tank and you can destroy it yourself. You can just take it to a river, jump out, let it roll in, and you're done. But you can also go around blowing stuff up for a little bit. That's kind of fun. I enjoyed doing that. Plus, you can do the same thing you usually do with the tanks, is turn the gun around, turn the cannon around, and fire to get yourself to like go faster, which is really fun. We get a call from a mysterious woman here who wants you to destroy, not kill, but destroy her husband's empire, which, cool, I guess. We're down for anything. I mean, we're Tony Cipriani. We've done pretty much everything aside from eating the person with Dollar Love. We must stop a shipment that the Yakuza are bringing in. I can't remember if they're drugs or guns, but it doesn't matter because there's just a bunch of dudes down here and they're scattered around a hilly area, which does make it a little harder. And plus for me, it's at night, it's very foggy, which is cool, admittedly, but it's hard to see. So you've got to take it a little slow going down the sides of these hills, especially because you're not sure right away if they can hit you and you can't hit them because of the angles. We take everything and we deliver it to the guy with one arm, which was in Grand Theft Auto 3, and they even had the mission named after him, the one-armed man or one-armed army or something like that. Next, she asks us to destroy a bunch of money. Not steal it, but destroy it. So she says go to the casino and find out what he's doing with it. There are large armored cars, or vans, what the game says, and all we have to do is take a bike and shoot at them. That's it. It's pretty simple. You can shoot forward on the bike like I said earlier, so it's very simple to chase them. You're not really getting shot at. Although eventually you will have wanted stars, which makes it difficult to get around, because then eventually you shoot the police, get more wanted stars. But these vehicles blow up at a few clips from your Uzi here. This woman wants us to escort her to the opera, and we take her in her cute little dress there and all the way to the opera and hope that nothing bad happens. We get to the opera and we get to see this guy beating on the limo over there, which is so funny in the background. But there are cops everywhere because they're just patrolling. And what sucks is you are immediately accosted by these dudes, so you have to move quick. I actually died the first time because this cop would not stop beating me. For some reason, it wouldn't lock onto him. So I had to run away from him to finally get away, but it still didn't help, man. I had wanted stars, they were all on top of me. It was terrible. So you just have to be quick. We go back to her and she says, my husband's on the way to kill me and you because he figured out who was doing it, so we gotta figure it out first. First, we kill Kazuki's guards. They've got some machetes. I don't know why they don't have something else, but they've got like this big machete. And we take them out and take one of their cars. I get to the casino on the far side of town and find out that her husband is wielding a katana, and apparently I'm supposed to be wielding one as well, or at least chat told me I should use it to fight him in an epic katana battle. But I just used my Uzi and blast him away. I don't know what they thought, but that was gonna Indiana Jones this shit. She then just kills herself by jumping off the edge. She's ashamed of the things she's done. I guess she can't live with the the things she's done. I guess, I don't know, man. So obviously this line of quests is done. We go back to Donald Love, who has called us begging for our help, and he is homeless, and he looks homeless. He asks us for help, and he has a plan to kill Avery, another person who is working on land type deals, and he wants us to get the plans from Avery so that we can use them to get rich. It's a little difficult because he is surrounded by a bunch of dudes and can very easily get caught up in this like area where there's a lot of people, a lot of cars, a lot of people, and Donald Love will get out of the car like an idiot. But he also makes it hard for you to get out of there, and apparently everyone wants to kill you, and they shoot you relentlessly, so your vehicle will most likely catch on fire. When I came to do this one, I died 4 times in a row because my vehicle caught on fire every single time. Eventually, I fired one well-placed rocket right into all of them, killed them all, took the plans, and got back without a scratch. The 5th time I did it. Donald tells us that a reporter has photos of him doing bad stuff, so we've got to go get the reporter and the photos. We find the reporter, and he's not even worried about anything. He's like, nope, you can take whatever you need. I don't want to be a part of this. He doesn't want to die. That was a lie, though, because when we take him where he wants us to go to get the photos, he gets on this little scooter, and we must chase him down and kill him. The last thing Donald Love wants us to do right now is to bring 2 corpses to the airport to be lifted out of there, and I don't actually know why. I think he wanted Avery's corpse. He wanted to hide them, I think because he's gonna go do the deal with the Pan Atlantic group that is doing this land deal. So we must find both of the people's corpses that if they were announced on the news as being dead or something like that, then they would know that Avery is dead and not actually there. So I think he's trying to impersonate him long enough to do this deal and get the money. And then, I don't really know what they're doing, but this one's a little difficult because you've got to get 2 ambulances that are carrying the corpses and drive them all the way to the airport. And sometimes you get wanted stars and they will come after you like crazy. So you just got to be a little bit careful once you get to them. One of them is on the 3rd island and one of them is on the 2nd island, and you just have to bring them all the way to the airport. So the one on the 3rd island is obviously the easiest. It's already on the island with the airport. The second one's the one you probably should start with, because once you get these to the airport, you do get the wanted stars, so you have to be quick. Donald calls us from far away and says, hey dude, we need you to do one more thing before this deal goes through. Clear some land by going to 8 Ball, from Grand Theft Auto 3, right? And you have to pay him a bunch of money to get a bomb in your car and blow that stuff up so that it's clear for them to actually do the deal, which I don't know why they were gonna do it anyway if it wasn't clear, but whatever. So now we are at a point where you have to have $20,000 to pay 8 Ball, and you'll get paid later. No, you're not going to get paid back later. Donald doesn't care about you. That's it. But now you must have the money to do this. Now, I was warned a little bit in chat that I needed this, but I didn't really care that much. I wanted to get to it and just do it myself, which turned into me spending several hours finding ways to make money. Because in this game, there are only a few ways to really make money. One of them is the races that you can find around the islands. Those give you the most for the smallest amount of effort, and those are the places you want to start. They give you about $1,500 each, which is a good $4,500 sitting on the table, as long as you're willing to do the races and you're able to beat them in first place. You can only do them once, which kind of sucks. The other ways are to do noodle deliveries or vigilante missions or fire truck missions, ambulance missions, taxi missions, deliver some pizza. So the noodle and the pizza actually give you some other benefits if you do enough of them, but they are slow with money. So your best bet's to start with the races and find out where they are, and once you do them, any other money you need, you're gonna have to find the best thing to do, which I believe the pizza might be. I think if you upgrade the pizza, you not only get the pizza shop, and it gives you cash, just like in Vice City. But it's the one of only 2 places that will do that, and it's not a lot of cash, but it is worth it if you feel like at some point you want to do that. But I believe you also get like some kind of health upgrade or something like that. There's an upgrade somewhere. So your best bet is to go do the races and then do the missions until you get the money. Now this took me a while. The races are a bit difficult. At this point, these are the end game races, and the enemies are relentless. They drive the fastest cars for the spot you're in. If you're on the first island, they'll drive the fastest car there, and you can go to the second island and get the fastest car there, which is a slight bit faster. Also drives a little better than some of the fast cars here on the first island, so it's worth it to try to get those cars so you can win. It's a little easier, but they still drive incredibly well. So you need to use the minimap to see where you're gonna go in the future checkpoints, and then you can adjust accordingly. Once you do these races, then like I said, the other missions, but I found myself having so much trouble doing them. They're so boring. Maybe that's just me, but they've always been boring to me. I don't like those side missions. I liked in Vice City that there were actual missions to unlock places to get passive income, but it did take a while. At least though, those things were fun. They were missions that had big goals at the end of them and got you some money. There were a couple of them I didn't like at all, but some of them were okay. So I wish they went that route a little more, but you know, whatever, man. This mission is kind of neat. Your van is loaded with different explosives, and you don't actually need to just blow the van up or get it to a certain spot right away. You need to go through the tunnels where in Grand Theft Auto 3 they're blown up, probably because Tony did it, and you have to find spots where the structure is weak and put little bombs there. Then you eventually park the van in an end spot and blow it up, and that will trigger the entire system to come crashing down. And it does take a little bit to do this, so if you fail once, which is possible, it's very possible once you get in here, then you'll have to do the whole thing again. The van can be damaged beyond repair and blow up, or just end the mission. And there are a couple spots in these tunnels where there are little bumps that will very easily send the van flipped over, and it will blow up. And these vans are paper thin. Whenever I use a van, it's paper fucking thin, man. If anyone shoots your van for a couple seconds, you are dead. It will blow up. It's so easy to blow up these fucking vans, dude. So they have you use it here, which is so wonderful. They could have had you use anything, but whatever. So this mission is really neat, but it is long. We must help Donald Love escape the Colombians who have come here and surrounded him. Now, this mission seems a little similar to the last mission in GTA 3. In fact, we're in the same place where I think her name was Catalina, she was at, and you started the last mission in. You're surrounded by dudes and they're coming out everywhere and you must get out of here. Now, you don't go to the dam and fight people like that game, but there are tons of dudes who come in here, and Donald Love won't leave the house until they're all dead. So make sure you get your AK, make sure you get some grenades, full armor, and just go at it, because these guys are pretty tough and they come in large waves and they can kill you very quickly. The guns they have are just accurate and powerful, and they will send you flying with their vehicles. They will come in and they don't care what they're hitting. We have to get Donald Love to the airport, and let me tell you what, they set up a strip for my car and broke my wheels so early on in the mission. Now, this was tough because you cannot drive your car with any amount of accuracy. It is so hard to control, but I couldn't get out of the car. The cops were on my tail so hard that I just didn't have time, and I knew Donald was gonna die or I'd get busted. So for some reason, I was able to take advantage of the cops not being able to be on my tail, get out of the car that was just busted up and get in another car, which, by the way, started to get busted up immediately. And Donald got in the car and we were able to make it. It was like, I don't know how it worked out, because most of the time that does not work out. It's usually I have to redo it. Now is one of the more difficult missions at the end of the game here. You see, Salvatore is getting out of prison and they're transporting him to his court date, but he knows that he's going to be killed or at least attacked. And so we have to follow the cops in a cop car to make it look like we're a cop, and also just to protect him. If they will allow us to help them if we're in a cop car. This mission is difficult because Salvatore is in an armored car that, by the way, is also paper thin, it seems, for some reason in this game. I don't know why. But you must ram through barricades that they are setting up for him. And if you don't, his car will ram into him and usually stop, and then he gets shot up a bunch and then dies. This one's pretty difficult. They will hound him. Now, as you see here, this car is on his tail, just railing him, but it's not actually hurting him. So instead of dealing with it, he actually pushed him faster through sections of the game. I allowed it because I don't want to try and accidentally hit him, trying to get this guy off his tail, so it's worth it to just let them do this. But otherwise, you need to go ahead of him and know where the barricades are, ram through them to make room for him to get through, and then help him get through. This is a difficult one, man. It really is. And some people were saying that you could possibly actually hijack that car and take it on a better route, which sounds cool, but I didn't know when I could actually even get into it. So I tried my best to make room for him to come through, but also the AI just goes whatever way it wants, so it doesn't know. And you have to get him from the third island back to the second island all the way to court. And you go through a couple cars, man. Mine caught on fire so easy. You have to ram stuff. We need to go see the mayor so that he will drop charges on the whole Leone family, which, sure, man, I'm sure he will. But we go to find him, and apparently the Sicilians have already taken him. Salvatore and I must go track him down, and this turns into a multi-part mission that's a little difficult, although I'm able to beat it the second time. Once you get through far enough, you're not gonna lose, because a lot of the end parts of the game are pretty easy. They make it a little easier for this end boss. This is the end of the game. We get on a boat with Salvatore, and yet again we get to have infinite ammo on a minigun this time, and we go to town. So many people come after us, so many boats, and it's really fun to blow them all up with this minigun. It's just a good time. Then we get to the island with a lighthouse, and this is where they decided to take the mayor. We're still trying to save the mayor, I guess, because he's the only person who can pardon us. I think it's because he's weak enough for him to pardon us. You know, like we can say, hey, we saved your life, you need to pardon us. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. After scaling the lighthouse, we've got to destroy this chopper, and there are plenty of safe places to hide and free aim, hoping to actually shoot the chopper. Now, they give you a body armor and I believe a health somewhere, and then of course some guns with some ammo here so you don't just run out of ammo. But eventually the chopper is not able to face you in a way that it's able to shoot you. So if you have a rocket launcher, you can shoot it right away, or like me, just go in and fight this thing quickly. It blows up very fast, and that's it. That's the end of the game. What happens next is that the mayor comes to Leone's office and talks with him about clearing our name. We also get to meet Salvatore's uncle, who, I mean, clearly despises Salvatore and me. He despises everything. He's the boss, and Salvatore doesn't like him either. It's immediately obvious. This is left on a small cliffhanger. I mean, you know, there's gonna be more stuff. So, yeah, and he hears him say he's a sneaky little bastard. So it's just funny because no one likes each other. This is the wrong line of work to be in, man. This is a dangerous job. So this is the end of the game. We helped Salvatore clean up and get scot-free from all the crime he did. And this will then lead into Grand Theft Auto 3, which is kind of neat. Now, I'm gonna say this, the game for me gets a high B. It's fun. They have a lot more variety of the missions, it's easier to fight multiple people, and you get a main character that talks with a little bit more of a coherent story. Instead of just revenge on your ex-girlfriend and going around doing some odd jobs, you are trying to help the Leone family take over Grand Theft Auto 3's, places. So it's neat. However, it's not that interesting, to be honest. We know Tony isn't gonna die because he's alive in the Grand Theft Auto 3. We know Salvatore isn't gonna die. We know Donald Love isn't gonna die. We know who's gonna be where and when because we know they're alive in Grand Theft Auto 3. And honestly, a lot of this felt like Tony was just doing jobs and did have a voice, but had very little opinion, had very little character outside of being a mobster and doing the things he needed to do for Salvatore. But why? It just seemed like there could have been a lot more. It seemed like there was a lot more to explore instead of Salvatore looking kind of weak all game. He just looks weak to me. I mean, he has so many problems, and I understand that might have been the direction they wanted to take. But why? Why are they making him look weak like this? It just seems low effort story-wise. Now, you might like the story, sorry, but I just find it that it would be more interesting if it was a little more high stakes feeling in some other way, right? Because we know they live, but the stakes just aren't high enough. It's not interesting enough. We know we're fine. We know kind of what's going to happen. And you know what, to be honest, a lot of the missions are just missions again. Whereas a game like San Andreas really had like a narrative and characters who had things going on. You constantly vied over control for things with you and your brother and the corrupt police officers, and not everyone was corrupt, just those dudes, and we were constantly being harassed by them and controlled by them. That was an interesting story. I don't know, it just was really interesting, and you got to end it in a very satisfying way. This one was just, cool. We got to learn a little bit more about the people here, but a lot of them we already knew about, except for Donald Love eating people. And then some of them either were people we didn't know or people that left forever and we never saw again, or the woman killed herself. So it's it's neat to see where Grand Theft Auto 3's island started. You blew up the tunnel and the ferry that was supposed to be here and all this stuff. And it's cool, but I think the story could have been better. Now, the gameplay, the quality of life was great, and that's why I'm giving it a B, because man, is it better than Grand Theft Auto 3. This is a much more fun game to play. Although, you'll find that many times the FPS drops. It just does. That's just how it's gonna work. You have to accept it. but I don't like it. So I wish it would run better and it would have gotten a higher score. I would have given it an A from me, but there are some problems with it. Otherwise, this was a fun game and I absolutely recommend it for more Grand Theft Auto if you like Grand Theft Auto. It's worth playing and at least you get to see some cool stuff and you get to see some familiar old stuff, which is neat. So thank you everyone who watched the video this far. Thank you for all the people who have donated and who have become members. You are the reason why I'm playing this game / even where we are now. I'd be playing some boring old games I had on hand here, but people are picking really interesting, cool, fun games to play. So if you become a member or donate, you get to have a pick for sure, and I put it on the list. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everyone who was in the stream with me. That was a really fun game. I liked playing this. It was a lot of fun. There were some bullcrap moments, but we talked about this, but there are bullcrap moments in all PS2 games. It's just what happens. So you gotta accept that. Like, it's not going to be perfect. It's not too handholdy. So it's the great system to play. These games are fun even with the bullcrap. So thank you so much for being there and watching the stream. And thank you everyone. This has just been great. I'll be back for the next video soon. Later.